Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Bitcoin is over 72K still. I'm kind of surprised. Are you guys surprised? We're holding up this high. It's crazy. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here to the channel, what we typically do is go over crypto news in the space, watch a few videos, update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here, and then we'll get into this. Mr. Crypto Frank in the house, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being here. All set. We have Lawnmower Man, Anthony Denizzo. Good to see you, buddy. I hope I said your name right. Let's see. Andrew Masad, Charles Harris, Rob Mines, DJ. What's up, buddy? Good to see you as well. Green Hash, Black Hat. Good to see you. All set. Mr. Charles Harris. Good to see you. Nick K, Duke Nukem, my man. Let's see who else is here. Kinjo. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good to see you. Lil Stanky, Crypto KJ. Everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. But let's get into this. Bitcoin 72,256. Crazy. It's holding up super well. We have Ethereum over $4,000. The Denkun upgrade is a day away. It is supposed to be reducing the gas fees on Ethereum. It's the biggest upgrade since the merge, so it's a big deal in the Ethereum space for anybody that cares. I know a lot of you guys don't, but listen, talk shit or make money. I choose to make money. Let's get it right. Caspa down to 15.2 as of right now. It's down 3.51%. Honestly, I think it's a good buying opportunity, just my opinion. XRP, look at you, little buddy. Welcome to the party. 70 cents. Look at this. Up 11%. Finally broke 60 cents. What happened? Does anybody know? Is there any like news? Like, did they win another court case or something? Solana 151 bucks. We got Ton. What in the hell? Ton coins up 21.65%, $3.59. Man. Dogecoin and Shiba, all these little meme coins are down a little bit, but they're honestly still holding up pretty well. Way better than I thought they were going to hold up. LTC is at $97. This run is just getting started, boys. ETC at 36 bucks. Everything is looking pretty good over here on Crypto Bubbles on the day. Biggest earner again is Ton over here at 24.4% up on the day, according to Crypto Bubbles. And yeah, $3.58. Not too bad. Let's see. XRP up 11.9%. We already said Flow is up 9.1%. Whatever that is, if anybody's into that. To be honest, I don't know anything about that coin. Injective 7.1% up on the day, $44.15. IOTA is up 7%. Looks like it's at 38 cents. We have Worlds going up 3.3%. Shout out to Sam Altman for coming back. I guess that's probably why this is pumping a little bit, but it's over 10 bucks, just a little bit. 10.01. Dog Whiff Hat, is this a good buying opportunity? You guys let me know. It is down 10.5%. Oh man, this is like the funniest meme. I don't know why. It just cracks me up every time, but like I hate all the knockoffs now. They're like doing all these other Whiff Hat BS coins. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are in it. Oh man, Render took a little bit of a shit. Look at that. 9.6% down on the day. $11.17. To be honest, it's still absolutely killing it. I didn't think it was gonna go that high. That's crazy. Fetch AI is down 6.4%. Looking at $2.63. Yeah, nothing else really sticking out at me, I don't think. I mean, Pepe down 8.6, Bonk down 4.5, but hey, whatever is what it is. Biggest on the week, let's just check quick. Looks to be Floki is still winning on the week as of right now. I think it's the past 7 days how they do it, so that is a week in total, right? 90.1% up to I don't know, whatever. I'm not even gonna try. I don't like the decimals. It's annoying trying to read it, but everything else is again, everything else is looking freaking fantastic. All right, flashbang. Check out Fear and Greed Index, looking like 81. Extreme greed still, but we went down a peg from yesterday and we hit an all-time high, which is, and we're still over the all-time high rather. So take it as you will. I don't worry about this till it's over 75, but right now, man, it's I don't know. This market is so different. I don't know what to expect. Let's see. Wasn't it worth selling RND to meet Panda? What are you saying, Steven Cicero? I am so confused. I don't even know what that means. What are you saying? Top 10 coins over here. Buy coin market cap on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, Lido Staked Ether, XRP, USDC, Cardano, and Dogecoin. Shiba is still holding in 11th at a $19 billion market cap. Look at AVAX though. Actually took a little bit of a jump over here. And it's looking pretty good, actually. $18 million market cap. It's catching up to Shiba. I'm shocked Shiba even flipped it, to be honest. But hey, We'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. I got a bunch of it. I hope it continues to pump. Let's put it that way. All right. Litecoin looking like it's in 22nd place at 97 bucks, just under $100. I think it hit $100 yesterday. I think it did, if I'm not mistaken. Ethereum Classic 26th place. Again, it's down to $36. I think it was closer to 40, but you know what? I think Ethereum Classic, just from the Ethereum name in it alone, will force it to pump. Just because people don't know what's going on with crypto. And I know when I got in, that's the first coin I bought because it was cheaper than the others. That was just how it was. I mean, there's a shit ton more now to purchase, but Ethereum, you hear a bunch of news about it, kind of gets you intrigued. You know what I mean? Render's in 37th place. Looks like Caspa is down in 42nd at a $3.4 billion market cap, and Pepe is right behind it. Pepe was actually like a couple steps above it. Look at that. I think this is a good buying opportunity. What do you guys think for Caspa? If I'm not mistaken, they're doing some big things over there, but I know there's a lot of FUD in the space, so we'll see. Can you mine Merge X? I don't even know what that is, to be honest, Yusuf. Let's see. If you guys have any questions in the chat, just tag me and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. All right, we have a lot of things I want to watch today, so let's get into the mining segment of things, and we're just going to kind of chug through this. All right, the Caspa KS5 Pro 21 terahash from Bitmain is making $183 a day. We have the KS5 20 terahash unit making $174.78 per day. We have the BMKS Max 11 terahash unit making $87.38 a day. Again, these are all Caspa miners, if anybody's wondering. The Windminer K9 10.3 terahashes. The only one I've ever heard about somebody getting delivered has been DOA, which is dead on arrival. So I don't recommend people purchasing these units, but it was $85. You're making $85.80 a day if anybody has one. Looking at the KS3 from Ice River, the 8 terahash unit is making $65.11, and the KS3M is making $46.43, which is still really not that bad overall. And oh, by the way, Caspa is actually 80% mined out at this point. We're 80% mined out, so take that as you will. We're gonna see that mined out in our lifetime, by the way. I think it's like 2036 or something around there. The K7 looks like it's doing pretty decent at $24 a day. The X16P looks like it's making $24.85, not too bad. The KS2 Ice River Caspa miner is making $15.32. The L7 9050, this is the one I got down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them if you guys want to pay 10 cents kilowatt hour. Links in the description. $13.61 a day. This is a Doge and Litecoin miner, and this thing's been killing it lately, so can't complain there. And it was actually off for like a year or two. It sucks I couldn't mine throughout the bear market. It just was not affordable here, and I really didn't want to send all of my stuff down to be hosted because I can't play with it or make videos. So I bit the bullet. I had to do it. I'm happy it's on now, so it was a better decision instead of keeping it off, to be honest. All right, let's see. S19K Pro, I also have one of these down at Terra Hosting, making $7.70 a day. Nice, not too bad actually. Obviously Bitcoin over 72,000. It's actually been cranking the profitability on these. I just wonder I wonder what the next machine is going to be. I know the S21's out, but what's going to be the next after that? I don't know. I just don't know if I don't think I made a bad decision buying this, but who knows? You never know, right? Oh, Dan R, you know what? Hold on. You know about that crap gold shell Caspa miner? You know what? That's a good point. I totally forgot. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Somebody posted that in my VIP. Let me see. Oh god, here it is. Oh no, that's not it. What's it called? Nope. Is it not even here yet? Oh, that's right. I don't think it's on the site yet. It was just on Twitter, wasn't it? Let's see. They put it on Twitter. There it is. 1.18 terahashes at 400 watts. How much is it? Did they tell it yet? They say it? Did they say how much it was? It's here, blah blah blah. We took the extra time to ensure excellence. Thanks to your patience. Win a free KA box. I'm calling it a KA box. Does anybody know the price? What in the hell? There's no price? Should be Friday. All right, so they didn't drop the price yet. Dude, I feel like this is gonna be way too expensive. I feel like they're gonna charge like thousands of dollars for this. They did drop the price, $17.99. Bruh. No, absolutely not. Throw that thing in the garbage. Throw that in the garbage. Gold shell. Fucking waste of money. That is the stupidest. That is. Get out of here. Get the F out of here.
So is that a joint?
They smoking something over there. That's crazy. Hell no. Don't buy that. That's insane. Anyways, yeah, we're just gonna move on. I don't even want to talk about ASICs anymore. That just made me sick in my tummy. I don't feel good anymore. Thanks. Just ruined my coffee. Gold chill. That's terrible. I don't know. That's too expensive for me. Anyways, all right. Let's see. The GPUs over here. What's most profitable coin? Looking like Pirate and Nexa, top of the charts. We got Hyper and Lithium, as always, usually on the top of the charts. Dual mining that. Chlorus here. BTG, Xano. Nice. Not too bad. All right. Looks like that is the consensus of all the coins. Ironfish down at the bottom. NXL on some of the AMD cards. Nice. Not too bad. All right. Let's see if there's any other new coins here before we get into this. Again, miningpoolstats.stream if you guys are looking for new coins to mine and to kind of take gambles on shit. Best place to find them, but please be cautious when you guys click on these. Like this Cubics one is the newest one, right? 5 days ago. I'm coming down here, going to their websites. You're going into unknown territory. So you're going to click on this site. You're going to go to it. You're going to download a wallet. Be careful. Do it on a VM, different computer. Don't use your own with your crypto on it. You could get hacked. So just be careful. I don't know. And that's nothing against this coin at all. It's just in general. Okay. I just want you guys to make sure all of these coins on this list can be a risk. That's just how it is. So just be careful. Again, don't see any new coins. 5 days ago was this Cubics one. So is what it is. All right. Let's move on to the news segment of things. This morning, Ethereum's Denkun upgrade to launch in 2 days. Here's why it matters. The Denkun is most anticipated upgrade since the merge. It is set to ship in 2 days, which is actually it's tomorrow. This was a day ago, so they posted this yesterday. Promising to significantly reduce layer 2 transaction costs, which is awesome. I'm not going to read through this because you guys get bored with Ethereum stuff, but regardless, they're going to be doing this tomorrow supposedly. So I'm interested to see how crazy the significantly reduced transaction costs will be because right now they're significantly, like, disgustingly high, and that's just, yeah, it's always been absolutely awful. Anyways, all right, let's move on to CNBC television. Bitcoin has all the great attributes and none of the defects of gold. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor. This was yesterday morning, literally right after our stream, but I always like to listen to Mr. Michael Saylor, so if you guys missed it, pay attention. Let's do it.
Bitcoin crossing the $70,000 mark for the first time on Friday this morning. It's now above $72,000. Joining us right now to talk Bitcoin is Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy Executive Chairman, and 8K out from the company this morning, revealing it just bought more than $800 million in Bitcoin. As of the end of last month, his company held about 200,000 Bitcoins. And Michael, I want to thank you for joining us. You have been early and courageous, and you continue to double down. I want to talk about where you think Bitcoin is, but also want to talk about how you think about MicroStrategy and your company as a proxy for Bitcoin now that ETFs are available to the public.
Real quick, they Michael Saylor actually surpassed purchasing Bitcoin from BlackRock or whatever, right? Like, or BlackRock did from Michael Saylor, and then it flipped again or something yesterday. It was crazy, but they have so much Bitcoin, it's insane.
Sure. Well, I think I'd start just with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is certainly at least digital gold. It's going to eat gold. It's got all of the great attributes of gold, and it's got none of the defects of gold. If you could teleport gold from New York to Tokyo in a few minutes, people would like it. It's going to divert capital from risk assets and risk ETFs like SPY, and you can see that these ETFs are doing that. It's going to be incorporated into a lot of funds like the BlackRock Global Opportunities Fund or the Strategic Income Opportunities Fund. And so as it's an asset class. As it goes into other funds, it's going to become structural. The halving is going to cut the organic supply of natural sellers in half around April 20th.
All right, I see a lot of you guys saying the AI stuff in the chat. So listen, I know you're going to see. You know what? I'm going to make a little PSA video today, because I've been seeing it every morning. I get on the computer and I'm searching through like news in the space. There's always a live stream going on, and it's an AI generated Michael Saylor. You can see his lips aren't really matching up, but like if you're stupid enough to like scan the QR code and send your money, then you're going to get rugged, right? They're just going to take all your shit. No one's going to give you a free lunch. That's just like point blank, end of story. You're never going to get a free lunch. You're not going to get double the coin ever. So don't send anybody your money. Like, it's just, please don't fall for that shit. It's fake.
means there's only about $32 million a day of natural sellers. And the price of Bitcoin is going to have to adjust up in order to meet that investor demand. So I think that's what's going to happen next to the asset class.
In terms, though, of how investors should think about your company, and right now I think they think of your company as a proxy for Bitcoin. It was a way for investors, frankly, who didn't want to buy the underlying coins to get access to Bitcoin and exposure to Bitcoin. The question now, though, that these ETFs have been approved and folks are funneling money towards BlackRock and so many others, how should they think about your company versus doing that?
Yeah, so BlackRock is like the container ship or the super tanker of Bitcoin. They can take $1 billion a day into their capital structure, and they can haul that very efficiently, 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is like air freight. We got higher performance. So what's going on here? MicroStrategy's got leverage. If we borrowed $800 million at 62 basis points, is there any company in the world that you wouldn't like to invest in that could borrow $1 billion at less than 1% interest to invest in your best idea? So we get that very intelligent leverage. It's non-recourse, it's unsecured, and then we buy Bitcoin with it. That leverage gives us volatility. It gives us performance. The performance gives us volatility. The volatility attracts capital, and we can then leverage more. It's kind of intelligent because it's convertible debt. It's given our shareholders more Bitcoin per share this week than they had a few weeks ago. So it's very accretive for them. And it's pretty compelling for every investor. If you're Bitcoin curious right now and you want to buy Bitcoin at the all-time high, how do you get the upside in Bitcoin with downside protection? MicroStrategy sold $800 million in debt, and we have $13 billion of Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So we're giving you an over-collateralized loan and the upside. But if you're a Bitcoin maximalist and you love Bitcoin and you want to hold it forever, the ETFs charge you 25 basis points. MicroStrategy is accreting. We're giving you a yield against your shares in a tax-efficient fashion. So the maximalists like the equity. The hedgers, they kind of like the upside with downside protection. The traders love the vol. You know, we've got 100 vol asset here, and they just like the vol. So we're unique because you can't really trade options on the ETFs, and an ETF isn't going to issue a convertible bond with upside to Bitcoin but downside protection.
So Michael, I try to understand the mathematics, and I know people like you went to MIT, and it just seems maybe it's more understandable for you or Andreessen or Peter Thiel or whatever. At 17, down from 68, and you know your leverage and everything else, did you ever wake up in the middle of the night and have any doubt whatsoever? That's my one question, because I was thinking about you at 17,000, and now I look at it now, and I just can't believe what the market cap of your company is based on it now. I guess, and the other thing is, when it halves, should we, if we look at it on stock to flow, do we have to just double what the potential price is based on, if you use that metric? Is that a valid metric to use? And after the halving, shouldn't it be 140,000 immediately if it's worth 72 now?
Two good questions, and thanks for asking me. First, with regard to Bitcoin, no, there's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin was a better investment at 17,000 than it was at 65,000. I take the Warren Buffett view on this.
It was so hard though to purchase down there, wasn't it? It's crazy. Look, I love his little shirt. You see this little Superman symbol poking through the V-neck he's got?
Bitcoin's a superior investment to gold, equity, bonds, and real estate because it's digital. You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it. Billions of people. If you want to buy a house on Saturday in Africa, this is the way to do it. If you want to buy a car on Sunday morning, this is the way to do it. So it's a pretty great asset. It's the greatest of the assets in my opinion. There's no second best asset. So I didn't have any question about it. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to realize how good it is.
Shout out to Michael Saylor. He's amazing, and he's been a savage the entire time. All right, Bitcoin price target, supply and demand, and the impact on crypto. Let's see what Yahoo Finance has got to say, guys. That like button. Did I do that over here? I did. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Bitcoin hitting another all-time high after eclipsing $72,000 today. But the cryptocurrency has a ways to climb if some industry targets are to be believed. Yahoo Finance's David Hollerth and Josh Schaefer are here to hammer this one. You guys have been trying to get to the bottom of how do they get to these targets. So first of all, let's talk about what are the targets and what people on Wall Street are expecting from Bitcoin.
So there's a range of targets here, Julie. Unsurprisingly, most of them are higher. I think most people that see Bitcoin going lower don't even engage in this exercise. I think that's sort of an important thing to start off with here. A lot of people that would say Bitcoin is going to go lower or have a quote-unquote sell rating, as we often say, aren't even engaging in making a price target for the cryptocurrency. But some of the targets that we highlighted here, Standard Chartered Bank saying Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000 by year end. Skybridge sees 110,000 by year end. Fundstrat's Tom Lee has made a public call of 150,000 for the biggest cryptocurrency in the world. A lot of what these different firms seem to be highlighting is essentially it's a demand-driven product, right? We're really just talking about demand and how that's going to move price. The ETFs brought a lot more demand than we had previously seen for the crypto. There's not all the coins are mined, right? So as demand goes up, price is going to go up. It's a little bit of a basic scenario when it comes to that. David, you've covered crypto a little bit more closely than I have. I'd be curious just sort of what you make of what these analysts told us about the base case here and sort of what their reasoning was.
Yeah, I mean, there's like an element to this, like compared to S&P price targets, where it is a little bit more, there are more assumptions that are made. But when you actually dig into it, it is based around supply and demand, and there's some of that can be modeled, and these people are trying to do it, which is still not easily done. And the interesting thing I think we found was just that there is a little bit of math and science behind it, and it's not totally coming out of nowhere as much as like some people think. But also too, it's it takes one or two more leaps than.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. ARK highlighted too, David, that they were telling me they use a top-down approach instead of a bottom-up approach, right? And you hear those types of things a lot of times in typical stock analysis, and top-down meaning that they're essentially assuming what the overall market size of Bitcoin could be by saying that Bitcoin is digital gold. So if we make that assumption, and gold is 1 to 5% of an allocation in a traditional portfolio, and Bitcoin were to replace that, you can start doing some fancy math. I can see Saz's head turning right now.
I'm asking for your price prediction.
On what that turns into for a market cap. Yeah, and then that's how you sort of get the numbers. Yep. It's a big assumption to assume that we're all going to take our gold allocations in our portfolios and just turn them into Bitcoin.
Dave, I want to ask you, because you've been our guy here at Yahoo Finance covering these wild swings all the way down from the Bankman-Fried shenanigans, you name it. Does this time feel different? Does this feel like really this is crypto's moment and Bitcoin over 72,000 is just a starting point?
Yeah,
This time is definitely different.
I mean, I'm not going to invoke the magic words, but I think that the ETFs are definitely a unique place where it seems like there's like this buying demand for it. But, as we keep talking about supply and demand, at the end of the day, I think still the use cases are demand is speculative. And so we don't really know where that goes. And so I think there still is an issue of that when you're looking at like all cryptocurrencies longer term, but then obviously there's tons of believers who do see that, and one day it might be there, and who am I to say that? So as far as it being different, I would say I don't think it is different, but the market is very different. The demand is different. The use is about the same.
In the chat, somebody said, I'm thankful for SBF helped he helped me get cheaper crypto. That's messed up. That's messed up. A lot of people got rugged. All right, let's see. Any questions in the chat quick before we get out of here? Oh, DJ put a link to a channel that has a Michael Saylor interview that is probably pretty awesome to watch. It's way too long. I actually did come across this. This is from Crypto Nutshell. I guess I'm not subscribed to him, but I will be now. Yeah, I'll go watch this a little later, and if I can clip it up, maybe I will for the Misfit Mining YouTube channel. All right, let's get into this. Mr. Rud puts in the chat, appreciate the super chat. I'm sure that will come through in a little bit. It is for 249 euros, and he said, I just want to hear DJ scream again with a bunch of beers. I appreciate you. It's probably going to go off as soon as I start this, guys. Here it is. DJ. $72,000 Bitcoin. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. All right, CNBC Crypto World. Let's see. Bitcoin breaks through $72,000 to hit fresh record. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin breaks through $72,000 for the very first time. Former President Donald Trump signals he's more open to cryptocurrencies. And Sandy Carter of Unstoppable Domains explains how developers are making blockchain and AI work together. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Bitcoin keeping its momentum through the weekend, breaking above $72,000 for the very
He's going after the Tim Draper eyebrow look today.
first time this morning. By noon Eastern, it jumped nearly 4%, but briefly touched a fresh record of $72,750 earlier this morning. By midday, Ether climbed more than 3%, trading above the $4,000 mark after hitting its highest level since December 2021 this morning. And Solana also rose more than 3%, inching closer to $150. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. MicroStrategy just bought 12,000 more Bitcoin to add to its stockpile. Michael Saylor, the company's executive chairman, posted on X this morning that the company spent about $822 million worth of Bitcoin using cash and money generated by a convertible note sale, something the company announced last week. Saylor,
you know what? I think they did that because, again, BlackRock, I'm pretty sure, surpassed them, and then they flipped the script on BlackRock again.
Also said that the company now holds around 205,000 Bitcoin. He also came on Squawk Box this morning to talk about the Bitcoin buy, and here's what he had to say.
What's going on here? MicroStrategy's got leverage. If we borrowed $800 million at 62 basis points, is there any company in the world that you wouldn't like to invest in that could borrow $1 billion at less than 1% interest to invest in your best idea? So we get that very intelligent leverage. It's non-recourse, it's unsecured. And then we buy Bitcoin with it. That leverage gives us volatility. It gives us performance. The performance gives us volatility. The volatility attracts capital, and we can then leverage more. It's kind of intelligent because it's convertible debt. It's given our shareholders more Bitcoin per share this week than they had a few weeks ago.
Next, former President Donald Trump also joined Squawk Box this morning, where he talked crypto. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee said that he doesn't own any Bitcoin, but suggested he might not crack down on the crypto industry.
He doesn't own any Bitcoin. I bet not him, but something aligned with him probably does.
It's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way, but I will tell you, it has taken on a life.
Now, this isn't.
He sold like stickers that made a shit ton of money. If you guys actually listen to that full interview, I heard it this morning. I didn't feel like playing it because I didn't want to bore people. But yeah, he sold like a limited edition sticker line and made like millions of dollars. It was crazy.
Notable change from former President Trump, who previously expressed concerns that crypto could weaken the U.S. dollar's global standing.
And he let people like pay in Bitcoin and crypto, and that's why I mentioned the sticker thing.
Last, the UK's financial regulator has opened the door to crypto-related exchange-traded products. In a notice this morning, the Financial Conduct Authority said that it would not object to requests from recognized investment exchanges to create UK-listed crypto-backed exchange-traded notes, or ETNs. Now, these are different than ETFs in that issuers wouldn't have to hold the asset itself, and these products would only be available to institutions, not retail investors. The London Stock Exchange said it would accept applications for Bitcoin and Ether ETNs starting in the second quarter. The change comes after the U.S.'s own exchange-traded products have seen a wave of adoption. All right, let's head down to Texas for our main story. Crypto World's Mackenzie Sagallo spoke with Sandy Carter, the COO of Unstoppable Domains and a keynote speaker at this year's South by Southwest conference in Austin. They discussed the state of Web3 adoption and how developers are bringing blockchain and AI together.
Real quick, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the 999 super chat, Mr. Crypto Bowhunter. Perfect. I really do appreciate you, but I don't want to shill any certain coins. And I love this feature that YouTube has. You guys can see it. It tells you exactly what the activities are. In the last year, you've only chatted twice on the channel, so I know you're trying to pump this coin, and I don't want to do that to everybody, but I don't have any thoughts on it because I've never heard about it. But I appreciate the super chat. I really do. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. DJ makes my morning.
Perfect. So last time we spoke here on Crypto World was at South by Southwest in 2022, and you said that Web3 was still in the dial-up phase.
I'll take a peek at it at the end, but I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it.
A lot has happened since that conversation, and I'm wondering, where do you see things now? Have we moved past that dial-up moment?
I think we still have a ways to go, Mackenzie. I think it's going to be still a little while before people adopt en masse. However, we now have 4 million people using their digital identity on Web3. We see crypto at breaking levels right now. We're seeing more and more usage, especially around tokenization, you know, taking a physical asset and placing its digital ownership on the blockchain or on chain. And so we are seeing a lot of progress. I still think we're in that dial-up phase, though. I still think we have that 5 to 10 years to go that we chatted about last time.
You know what? I don't think she's wrong. I think we are kind of in that newish stage here. Yeah.
So you're at South by Southwest, and the question to you, you mentioned those record-breaking numbers that we've been saying in terms of crypto tokens moving higher, Bitcoin, Ether, and a whole lot of altcoins have seen tremendous upswing. What are people saying on the ground there? I mean, we're both in Austin at opposite ends of town right now, but what have your conversations looked like?
Yeah, you know, most of my conversations have been going after the shiny object, which is AI. And so I did 3 panels on Friday, 3 panels on Saturday, and then a keynote on Sunday with 2 follow-up sessions. Basically, all of those were blockchain-based, Web3-based, but every question was about AI plus blockchain. And we do see a lot of synergy there. In fact, I believe, Mackenzie, that blockchain will be pushed forward because of the gaps in AI. For example, ownership, monetization, transparency. We're already seeing it, you know, breaking. I think it was yesterday was a story of Princess Kate, a picture that was manipulated by AI, but presented as a real picture. How do you prevent people from thinking something is real if it's not? Blockchain is a great way to do that. You can do a signature on it. You have trust verification. I just see so many places of synergy between blockchain and AI. I do believe that blockchain will have its time in the sun with tokenization. But right now that everybody's chasing the shiny object, I do think understanding how blockchain and AI fit together is a very important lesson and something that I've been sharing here at South by.
You know what? I bet that will actually come to fruition after this bull run. Mr. Who was that, actually? Dan R. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He said, just in, the Biden administration is proposing a 30% tax on electricity used by Bitcoin miners. Again, I tagged you on Twitter of the letter from Biden.
Eat shit, Gary.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Sleepy Joe at it again. You know, it's not even him. There's no chance. They could barely get this guy to stand up. It ain't him. It's the people that are actually behind him, and that's why, yeah, we can't. We gotta get him out. Gotta get him out. Just saying.
About decentralized,
I don't care who else it is. He needs to get out.
Identities at all, and how that might factor into, you know, authenticity of who you are online, avoiding again like the deep fake conundrum that comes up with AI. It's something that the team over at Block, Jack Dorsey's company, has certainly been working on among many others. Is that something that you've also thought about?
Yeah, in fact, that is what Unstoppable does. We produce a on-chain digital identity. It's decentralized, so because it's on-chain. And what we're preparing for and seeing today is, where do you store all those tokens? So if you've got a token for your baby item, if you have a token for your car title like California's doing, if you have a token for your attendance at the NFL Super Bowl, where do you place all of those? Well, today you could place those in an unstoppable digital identity. We also have been working really hard on trust verification. And what does that mean? Well, you know, we've had that that picture of the Pope that was floating around in his Ballman puffer jacket. We could have done a verification through an unstoppable domain to prove that it was real or not real. I think those kind of things are going to be quite useful in the future. And right now we have over 4 million of those digital identities in the world. Our mission is to get a digital identity in the hands of every single person. It's about 7 billion. So we still have a long way to go, but 4 million, a lot of progress since the last time we chatted. And if you're interested, we also are announcing a new TLD here at South by Southwest.
Nice. Not interested. All right. Look at this. This is the letter, I guess. Impose digital asset mining energy excise tax. Current law does not provide tax rules specifically addressing digital assets, with the exemption of certain rules relating to broker reporting and reporting of cash transactions. Reasons for change. I'm just going to read this one part. Digital asset mining is a process for validating transaction among holders of digital assets to record and transfer cryptographically secured assets on a distributed ledger by, for example, using high-powered computers to perform calculations to select the validator. So there you go. This is yeah, that sucks. It's hopefully it doesn't pass, but that's pretty shitty. Thank you, Dan R, for tagging me on Twitter. Appreciate it.
Oh, go on. Yeah. What do we need to know?
Yeah.
So, I lied. Apparently she is interested.
Tomorrow with the Greater Austin Asia Chamber of Commerce, we're announcing .Austin. It will be the first city Web3 TLD that we know of anywhere. We couldn't find anybody else. There are others who have done a Web2 TLD, but it's not on chain. So this one in particular will be on chain. So this will enable, you know, businesses, members of the Asian Chamber of Commerce to all get their .Austin. They'll be able to do encrypted chats together to, you know, plan events, to decide what education they need, to provide feedback. It's a really powerful, another way to express that use case of using blockchain with a public sector, you know, entity or group as well.
Going back to crypto, I feel like these bull runs always have the net effect of bringing more people back into the ecosystem. Certainly the spot Bitcoin ETFs have been a huge driver of institutional money coming into the space in a way that it hasn't before. We're finally seeing venture money return. I feel like a lot of those venture dollars dried up and went over to AI during the last bear market.
Is this her house or a hotel room? Because this place is gorgeous behind her. Look at this. That's nuts.
But I guess my question to you is more, what do you think it will take to pull interest back to Web3, back to these layer 2 startups? Or we're starting to see that build momentum, but what else needs to happen?
I think it's all these use cases. I mean, you asked the right question, Mackenzie. What is the real tangible use case? I think that's when we're going to start getting funding again. And that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of the, you know, the movement going forward. For example, you know, I'll just give you this one. So we did a .pudgy. This is a pudgy penguin. We did a .pudgy launch, and this little animal has a tokenized ownership. So this is a physical item, but you can tokenize the ownership through this. And then what you
This is getting ridiculous.
do is you get into this really cool game called Pudgy World. That's a great use case, especially for the next generation. Like, my daughters are so excited.
All right, can we just get out of this? I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done. I just can't. I just can't do this anymore. All right, shout out to CNBC Television for bringing that lady on. weird bed in the background. Anyways, let's get over to Crypto Zombie. We're gonna get into videos today. So this is a longer video. I haven't watched this. I've literally waited to watch this with you guys. So let's get into it. Bitcoin explodes. Warning, most have no clue what's really about to happen. I have been watching Crypto Zombie since I got into the space, and I appreciate his opinion and his just everything about his channel, to be honest. Even though he talks super fast and, you know, whatever. You guys say what you will. But honestly, I really do appreciate his genuineness, I guess, of his channel. So let's get into it.
One thing I will say, right now, no wirehouse, so whether we're talking about Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, B of A, or UBS or Wells Fargo, no platform has approved Bitcoin yet. So all of this price action has happened before they approve it. And so, you know, we haven't even begun.
Jesus Christ.
What's going on, guys?
All right, well, obviously he didn't do that many flips, but that was pretty impressive.
Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. That's right. Bitcoin officially, and now there is no questions about it, has officially hit a new all-time high. You can see right here, as I am making this video, Bitcoin is pumping over $72,000, and you can see it doesn't look like it wants to stop anytime soon. So this is exactly why you guys can see right here, I put this video out 5 days ago, and I did not make an update since that video. And the reason I didn't do that is because, you know, a lot of maybe YouTubers, they flip-flop, you know, they say one thing, then they say another thing, and we had Bitcoin falling on that day, right? We had Bitcoin even touch $58,000 on a few exchanges. And what I was saying in that video was this was not the time to panic. Do not be fooled. We knew the new all-time highs were coming. And the craziest thing that I was trying to stress in my previous video is that 3 out of the last 4 times that Bitcoin closed above a previous all-time high, it only took approximately 18 days to double in price. Now, am I saying that's what's going to happen today? No, I'm just providing the statistics. But what I will say is congratulations to everyone who has ever had the courage or the conviction or belief to hold Bitcoin through the turbulent times, because theoretically, as long as you did not sell your Bitcoin, every single person, every single human being on planet Earth who has ever bought and held their Bitcoin is up today.
He's
and
not
it's
wrong.
crazy. I was reflecting on my journey from 8 years ago when Bitcoin was just $2,000, and I remember I was telling everybody about it. You can go back, you can watch all the videos on this channel, and people were laughing at me, telling me I was stupid. I mean, not even to throw it out there, but my family even said that what I was doing was ridiculous with my money. But, you know, I digress from that. The point is clearly, obviously, the world is waking up to the power of Bitcoin. And I hate to say it, usually I'm not the guy to, throw shade at these bears, but Darren Ravel on September 13th of 2022, no, Bitcoin will never hit $70,000 in its entire history. You sure about that? You sure about that, right? Because what actually happened, this is insane, guys, but Bitcoin, as you can see right here, has officially surpassed the market cap of silver.
How crazy is that? It flipped silver. That's a big deal. What's Bitcoin at right now, just for reference? Still 72,222. Look, it's in the red. It's down 0.19%, and it's still over $72,000. That's friggin' insane. All right, guys, link in the description, by the way, for Crypto Zombie if you're interested.
Right, Bitcoin is now the 8th largest asset by market cap in the entire world.
That's insane.
Just let that sink in. In fact, let's just do some quick math right here, guys. Let's just I wasn't planning on doing it this early in the video, but for example, we have the gold market cap, right, sitting at around 14.7 trillion. Just for fun, let's just do this math. Divide it by where we are right now, which is we'll just do 1.
This is crazy to me that this is in the world and it's it's literally top 10. It's in 8th place right now. That's crazy.
415 trillion roughly. It might be different. So that's about a 10.38 8x from where we are right now. So theoretically at around $72,000 even. Of course, this is moon boy math, but it's just to show you how crazy things could get over the coming years, the coming decade. That puts Bitcoin at around $748,000 per coin.
That's
if Bitcoin
crazy.
was able to get to the market cap of gold based on today's dollars. That's not including, you know, inflation. That's not including the massive inflows, which, by the way, everyone seems to think that what we're seeing right now is all of this capital pooling in from all of these different places. But in reality, the ETF was just the beginning. What a lot of people don't realize is that there are still so many financial institutions that are still not ready to jump into Bitcoin. A lot of these people, they need to see a track record. They need to see at least a couple months of price appreciation before they can become comfortable. Basically,
you know what? That's actually a really good point. The way he just put it, they need to see a couple months of a good track record, right? And I mean, regardless of the years past, right? That doesn't matter. The ETF's just opened beginning of the year, so that makes sense, actually.
Suggesting to their clients that they should start allocation, right? So there is still so much more to go. And guys, I'll do some really quick TA. There's really not much to go over because we are in full on price discovery. Every single thing is lining up. We have the money flow showing us that we're basically around the first 20 to 25% of what we should expect from this move.
This is a weekly chart, by the way.
Above all major moving averages, and the only thing we really have to go off of is these Fibonacci levels, right? So based off of the previous high to the bottom, when you draw these extensions, it shows us that the next major super macro area is around the 1.618, which says that Bitcoin should at least minimally, bear case, go to around $102,000. Now, where could we possibly expect a pullback? Well, you know, I don't know, guys. If you take it from here and sorry, wrong tool. Meant to do the Fibonacci retracement. This is just fun math right here. But you know, if you were to take it from that pullback at the 0.618, which we knew we were going to have some form of a pullback, and you go down to the bottom of that range, I mean, that shows that Bitcoin should at least minimally in the medium term come up to around $87,000 before potentially having maybe another pullback again. But we are still in this parabola, right?
Hold on, looking at the chart, the candles. I guess we had a whole bunch of green candles in a row here. I was just trying to see how many weeks in a row we've actually been green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's probably the biggest stretch. Weeks in a row. Damn, that's actually crazy impressive. Yeah, I don't know. Once we get past 3 green candles in a row, it's usually like we see a red one at some point.
Now, we do know that ultimately parabolas do break, and this parabola will break at some point, but that doesn't mean it's the end, because what happens is you break out of a, you know, smaller parabola and then you form a larger parabola, and these are where you can get these 30-40% dips, and that's exactly what I was talking about in the previous video. You know, we can go over the lower levels. There's lots of lower targets that Bitcoin can go to. We have the 48, the 55, right? So are these possible? Of course, but I would not be betting against Bitcoin at this point. Now, something that could happen, this is a theory that's been floating around, is maybe what happens is once a lot of the regular, normal, everyday people start piling in, they hear about the halving narrative. Maybe as we approach the halving, that's when we have a little bit of a sort of sell the halving news into the event. But I'm going to
oh, wow, he thinks it's going to sell into the event. Interesting.
Tell you guys from past experience, which is, by the way, very, very different this time. We're going to go into also the diminishing returns, which is, you know, everyone says, oh, well, each cycle we're going to get less and less and less high. That may change this time, and I'll tell you why. But again, you know, we could have a little bit of a sell-off into the halving, you know, just to shake out the new guys, you know, make them scared. Guys, we've seen this time.
And that is definitely going to happen, by the way. So if you guys, the biggest thing I can suggest, if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, maybe put like a buy order in super low, or like where you think it's going to go back to, and just leave it there. Just put it in and leave it. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, oh well, you didn't lose anything, you know?
In time again, we had like 7 different 30 to 40% crashes in 2017. We had multiple in, you know, the years that had to follow, and yet today Bitcoin is sitting at a new all-time high. So again, I would not bet against the orange coin. That's why I am wearing my Bitcoin shirt today, guys, because as you guys know, I have been a hardcore Bitcoin bull, and basically all we've been talking about on this channel for the past year and a half is pretty much Bitcoin. And, you know, I will kind of discuss why, unfortunately, for the average person, I do think Bitcoin is starting to get a little bit expensive, which is actually why you're going to start noticing a lot of the altcoins taking off. Now, I know I've been a primarily Bitcoin-based channel. If you guys are interested, with your permission, I would love to start sharing some altcoins, because from my past experience, this is the time when you're going to start seeing those big moves. So if
you know what, I'd be interested to know what altcoins he was into.
Want me to talk about some altcoins? I mean, you know, obviously not financial advice. Bitcoin is the #1 asset, the way to go. You know, you want to just store your wealth, set it and forget it. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin all day. But let's be realistic, guys. Bitcoin needs to double at this price to make a profit. So we have to go over $140,000 for the average person to double their money now in Bitcoin, at least in the short term, right? Long term, yeah, $1 million Bitcoin, absolutely. Buy one now, forget about it, come back in a couple of years, and 2030, I'm sure you'll be sitting just fine. But yeah, man, it's getting crazy with the altcoins. So I would love to share that with you. I do worry about that sometimes, only because, you know, it gets a little volatile. But if you want me to start talking about altcoins, I actually think now is the time where you could probably safely, and I say safely loosely, start allocating to some lower cap cryptos and probably do quite well. But, you know, obviously, guys, we got to talk about Bitcoin. We got to talk about Bitcoin on today's video. And I wanted to sort of turn it over to Gary Cardone, because he was over here in this video, and, you know, a lot of people have been talking about, that's it, we're due for a pullback, and we kind of had the pullback already. But, you know, he sort of goes into, are we going to get this magical pullback to go down to these levels that everyone's been waiting for? And the other interesting thing too is, a lot of people don't really understand this, but the higher the Bitcoin price goes, actually the stronger it makes it.
Bitcoin is both a currency play. By currency, I mean this is a new currency. Like, I just cannot find a comparable asset to deploy capital into for 2 to 7, 8 years that I'm very comfortable will have not only a really safe return, but a astronomically risk-adjusted return for the what I consider to be a very, very conservative play here. I just do not see how this supply and demand thesis doesn't work out to much higher prices.
Exactly.
And price is very, very important here. I know
I like his editor. Whoever the hell edits his videos and does that like noise with this shit, that's kind of cool.
Bitcoiners don't think price is really important, but price for the institutions and for adopting, the higher we go, the safer Bitcoin gets. So this is a really cool thesis, right? Like, Bitcoin gets stronger as the price goes up, and you and I as investors get stronger as the price goes up. So I regret.
And Timmy gets scared, it doesn't buy in.
I feel bad for people that have missed this window, have overthought this opportunity, have not deployed, or thought that they were going to get a pullback at 48. 42. I mean, there's still people saying that there's going to be a downward cycle at some point post-halving into the 40s, 45, 42, I've heard. Quite frankly, I'm not sure I'm that patient to wait. But that's a $25,000 move from here down. $25,000 move. If you were deploying, let's call it a couple $1 million, I mean, you're talking about the difference between 40 Bitcoin and 52 to 55 Bitcoin. So this is going to be a real challenge for me. This money happened to show up when the market's peaking out. And so do I chase it? Do I wait? Do I sit on my hands and expect this 30, 40% correction that's happened over and over and over again with Bitcoin? I think it will continue, by the way. In fact, I think we'll see, the higher it goes, the more volatility we will have.
Yeah.
Seems kind of simple.
He's not wrong
when you put it that way, but the higher we go, the more volatility we will have.
The faster you climb, the faster you fall. You know what I mean?
Well, the ETF is relentless. I think that I was listening to something this morning, people talking about the RIAs. The RIAs aren't even here yet. I mean, this money is not the big money. I would bet that over the next 3 or 4 months, when the RIAs start to actually move, which I think that's going to require 3 months, maybe 4. First off, I think all the money that's being deployed right now through the ETFs, the families themselves, very few know that they have been allocated Bitcoin. These are advisors who are making decisions.
So we all know that obviously there's been a lot of Bitcoin bulls. I am one of them.
He's not wrong, actually. That guy's pretty smart. He really is. Yeah, that's interesting. It's again, the faster you go up, the faster you fall, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you get nervous buying in at these levels because you don't know when the pullback's going to happen, but it's going to happen when you least expect it because it's going to shake out all the new people. That's the entire thing these whales do. They do it every single cycle. It happens time and time again. You're going to have a pullback. You're not going to go up forever, but how big is the pullback going to be? Nobody knows.
Be somewhat conservative, with these price targets, but even I I'll be the first one to admit it, was not expecting the price to get this high this fast. So that's a lot of the reasons why you have these OGs. Some of them have PTSD. You know,
I said it on Saturday Night Live with the guys. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this money. I'm going to throw it into Bitcoin. And I'm like, should I do it? Asking them on Saturday. On Monday, this shit moved like 10 grand. Like from when I wanted to buy in. I was like, are you kidding me? I should have just did it on my own and not even asked.
You can't believe it that the price is going up. But remember, this is not the same market that was trading 4 years ago. In fact, it's not even the same market that was trading a year ago. We have a lot of new capital inflow, but here is the kicker. Most of them, a lot of them, are still not even given the option to have the allocation yet. So, you know, if we come over here to what Kathy Wood was talking, she's talking about her $1 million plus Bitcoin price prediction. But of course, this is why she says that it could go even higher than she expected. But, you know, again, we still don't have a lot of that new capital just yet.
If we can just forget Vanguard for a second, discount them, because as you say, there seems to be many other demand drivers for the price in front of us. So if you had that bull case for more than 1 million USD Bitcoin, has your forecast timeline to reach that price now shortened?
Yes, that target, what we evolved in, it was before the SEC gave us the green light. And I think that was a major milestone, and it has pulled forward the timeline. One thing I will say, right now, no wirehouse, so whether we're talking about Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, B of A, or UBS or Wells Fargo, no platform has approved Bitcoin yet. So all of this price action has happened before they approve it. And so, you know, we haven't even begun.
So what's your
the feedback's annoying.
timeline for 1 million USD Bitcoin now? And is there perhaps a price target beyond that now?
Yes, our target is above that. We've got a 2030 target. So it's well above that. And with our new expectations for institutional involvement, the incremental price that we assume for institutions actually has more than doubled. So, you know, I don't want to give out any particular prices, but because we don't know how quickly the more independent registered investment advisors in the United States, those platforms are saying, give us 3 months to do our due diligence. The others are saying we need at least 6 months. So, you know, I would put those in the institutional bucket as well.
But in your view, Kathy, all of the factors are moving the price of this in an upwards trajectory.
Yes. Indeed.
So again, you know, obviously we're talking bullish, and that's the sign. As soon as everybody gets bullish, that's when we have the big crash. Guys, no, you have to think logically here. Yes, when everyone starts coming in and everybody starts talking about it and everyone has their allocation of Bitcoin and nobody else is interested, then yeah, that might be, you know, a signal for the top when everyone's talking about it. But I don't think we're there just yet. I have had a few people reach out to me and ask me about crypto, but really it's nothing like it was in 2020, not just yet. And, you know, don't just jump to conclusions. Don't just start calling tops because it's the cool thing to do. A lot of people, they want to just keep calling numbers so they can be right. The reality is nobody really knows what we're about to do this cycle. This is something we have never, ever seen before. I mean, even Donald Trump is over here, you know, talking to Joe Kernan about it.
Just wanted to ask you about something very specific for regulation, and that is Bitcoin. And I have in the past, I don't know if you recall, but I said, you got to look at this closely, Mr. President. And you know, the current SEC commissioner, Gary Gensler, finally allowed for these spot ETFs, and now we see Bitcoin at almost 72,000. But it's almost as if it's in spite of some of the efforts over regulation of maybe the Biden administration. Do you have any thoughts now on crypto?
Well, it's taken its own life. You know, I do little things sometimes for fun and, you know, make money with it. But I have fun.
Like NFTs he's talking about and whatever else.
With it too.
You mean
NFTs,
you bought Bitcoin?
Merch.
No, but I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or will let people get involved in a new. you know, if you think of it, it's an addition.
So he's making it. He's indirectly gaining it. He's not actually purchasing it. So when he gets that question, are you buying Bitcoin? The answer is no. Like, it's a genius move.
Additional form of currency. And I used to say, you know, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way. But I will tell you, it has taken on a life. And frankly, and I know Jay feels strongly about this, and Jay did a fantastic job, by the way, in a group where there's always scandal and problems. Jay went through 4 years. There wasn't one scandal. I don't know, Jay, maybe you can tell me, but there wasn't one scandal. That is the most scandalous position because it involves massive amounts of money. With Jay Clayton, we had no scandal, zero, nothing whatsoever. So I thought it was great. But I have seen there has been a lot of use of that, and I'm not sure that I'd want to take it away at this point.
But I just put that in there just for fun. I mean, I'm not
real quick. There's other people that send like Donald Trump, like his Ethereum address is, I believe you can find it somewhere, maybe on Twitter or something. But people send him like Ethereum chain tokens, like Pepe and all this other crap, just to show that he has a bunch of it, which is hysterical. I forget. We showed it on one stream. I forget what it was. Somebody sent it to me, but it was just funny.
Not going to go down the Donald Trump tangent, but you know, if you guys have been following Lynn Alden, she's an amazing economist. She's definitely very bullish on Bitcoin, and she talks about the diminishing return theory for Bitcoin. You know, ultimately how you would expect that each time we would get a less and less and less multiple. But with all of this new landscape and all of these different people that are now provided the opportunity to allocate into Bitcoin, is it possible that, well, just throwing it out there, number one, the diminishing return theories actually gets thrown out with the trash, and number two, the fact that could we actually be entering a super cycle? Because remember, when gold had their ETF, what did it do? Went sideways for about, I think it was 10 months, and then it went on a multi-year, I think it was 8 straight years of non-stop price appreciation. Of course, it had its dips. Everything has its dips, but is Bitcoin going to follow in similar footsteps? And also, with such a low market cap, could it be even exponentially greater?
So Bitcoin has so far had a history of diminishing returns, still high returns, but diminishing returns. That every cycle, if you take the cycle high and do a multiple of the prior cycle high, or you do say the cycle low to the cycle high, there's a couple different ways to measure how big a cycle is, but according to most of them, you've had diminishing returns. One of the surprising things, or kind of a consensus breaker, would be if you get a cycle that is higher than a prior cycle. That's never really happened before.
Real quick, this is what he was talking about, like looking at the gold ETF. Somebody else in the chat told me to pull up the chart, which is was a good idea. So November 4th, 2004, that's when the ETF launched, right? Look at the continuous grind up. All the way up. This is obviously only to 2012 or whatever, but it's at $1,600, right? Gold's obviously higher than that now, but it's just since the ETFs came out, it changed the game with people investing into that asset, which is the big deal here, right? I mean, obviously, yeah, people can go to the pawn shop and buy gold or buy chains or whatever, but like, I mean, it's no different than us being able to mine Bitcoin and, you know, gain it other ways. This just brought in a whole new like realm of investors, which was, you know, a big deal, or is a big deal.
And I'm still agnostic if that's going to happen this time or not. But one of the if it does happen, one of the factors that I think would be relevant for making it happen is the ETFs. If there's something that helps us surprise the upside, I think last cycle surprised most people to the downside. Like the high was not quite as high as some people were hoping. The low was lower than people were hoping, even though it was a much higher high and a much higher low than the cycle before it. But if you were to kind of surprise to the upside in a cycle, I think ETFs are one of the major variables.
I missed a super chat. Where the hell was it? Oh, I didn't see it. Thank you. Crypto for Seniors, Midwest Mining. Thank you so much. Good morning, CCXD. Have a cup of coffee on me. $4.99 super chat. You're awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks for surprising me, actually. It kind of scared me.
That would probably enable that.
And something that I wanted to talk.
And yeah, her voice does not match her face at all, but she's actually very intelligent.
talk about that I've been very vocal about is a lot of people said that, you know, the last cycle was so different. We didn't get the blow off top, we had the double top, and we didn't get up to some of those levels that we had looked for. Now, I personally believe that we should have and could have gotten to $100,000 last cycle, but the reason that we didn't is because we had a lack of regulation. We had no ETF, we had SBF, right? Basically stealing people's money. They also were actively selling massive amounts of Bitcoin to suppress the price, which, by the way, I do have a little bit of a conspiracy at the end of the video if you want to hear about that, regarding this cycle. You know, we had all of these guys collapsing. We had Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, right? We don't have any of that anymore. We had Binance under investigation. Just think about how terrible and horrible it was with all the negative news that came out. Bitcoin crashing below its previous all-time high into the 15,000s, only to rebound and put in a brand new all-time high. And like Willy Woo pointed out, you know, this really probably should have reached up to this 100K level. You could see all the previous tops, we had that happen. It did.
No, this guy Willy Woo is actually pretty good too when it comes to charting and stuff.
Not happen in the last cycle. Now, if we just look at where this is basing it, and I, again, not to do moon boy math, but kind of showing you maybe where we should have gone, okay? If we look at the upper band of this model, that puts Bitcoin at around $337,000. So according to this cycle, this means that I'm not gonna say like we're early, because at this point, you know, early was buying 15, 20, 30, even 45, you know, ish when the ETF got launched.
God, I'm so mad I didn't drop more money on Bitcoin back then. All right, so Mr. Crypto KJ in the chat threw Donald Trump's Ethereum address in the live chat. So you can see, look at, these are all the coins on the ETH chain that people just send him. Look how much money he's got. Just people sending random shit to say that he holds it just to pump their own bags, which is a riot. Like Jesus coin, I remember when they were sending him this. Oh, so many. Pepe, dude, people sending him Pepe. That's hysterical. What else? What else? Pepe AI. What the hell's that one? That's funny as shit. MAGA. Oh, they got so much stuff. That's a riot. I mean, obviously the Ethereum's probably from like NFT stuff, but like other stuff, like I don't know. Like, did he get sent all this one? Like, who knows? That's crazy. Or did he make it? Who knows?
But it's still early in the sense of what I believe to be the length of the cycle. And you can see right here, there is a lot of room to the upside, and we haven't seen any major indicators telling us anything about selling. In fact, we've seen nothing but consistent inflows, right? Especially on the money flow indicator, which has a 100% track record, which is very rare to say that, but it has a 100% track record that when we do start entering this area, we're going for a while. I would be shocked. Like, honestly, if Bitcoin this was the top and we crash tomorrow, then you know what, guys, you fooled me, you got me as well. But I will say this at the same time, you know, there's been bears calling for 10K, 12K, you know, we're breaking new all-time highs. And you're still hearing bears come out saying that this is a big fake out rally. I mean, that is just absolute delusion. Please just mute those channels. Don't listen to those people. They're obviously just seeking attention, okay? The trend is your friend until the end, and the trend is still trending up. There is nothing in the charts, there is nothing in the sentiment, there is nothing in the fundamentals that suggests that anything should be negative right now, unless, you know, I don't know, maybe like a war breaks out or there's some black swan that we're, you know, I don't know, something. But as far as just, you know, looking at it,
I was just gonna see what else he starts talking about. Looking over here, Coinbase conspiracy. We talked about this yesterday and how shady they're being, and on Saturday Night Live actually.
There's nothing that should be,
see what he says.
You know, preventing Bitcoin to going even just to the lower areas around 150,000, like, you know, Tom Lee had points out. And he also mentions the fact that it's not just the price, but I think people are waking up to the intrinsic value as well.
Just to put a fine point on this issue about the correlation with the markets, and how do you so if you're saying it's correlated to the markets, and we have a market that's doing quite well, and as we said, it appears the economy is doing quite well. The idea that it would do very well in a bad economy, which is what a lot of people have been trying to suggest, I think, on this broadcast earlier today, is that right or wrong?
You know, I think Bitcoin is a hedge against unsound money, and that's why when Joe, you know, talked about it as a currency, that's how many people do view it, because you know, Bitcoin has its own unit value and it's measured against dollars, and I think it's the same way people measure gold against dollar. So I think if there is an event, and we've seen it in Turkey or Venezuela, that when those currencies collapse, Bitcoin has been a way for people to preserve wealth. So I don't want to see that test sort of put in the US, but I think that's one reason people own Bitcoin.
So that's something you have to consider. And, you know, as Gary Cardone had said earlier in the video, obviously these higher prices are going to attract more institutions, right? They want to see the price go up. Of course, yes, they want to buy the dips if they can, but what they really want to get invested in is something that has a proven track record. Now, Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in the last decade and a half, right? But they have not really been paying attention. They want to see it happen in real time. So that's for the institutions. But then you also have to consider just the fact that Bitcoin is like no other market we've ever seen. In fact, it's the first ETF that's ever had a limited supply. And on top of that, it also is something that trades on the weekends. It trades, you know, when markets are closed. It is able to be used at any point, at any time, in any country in the world, whether you be first, second, third world country, doesn't matter. If you have internet access, or actually you don't even really need internet access, because we've seen them use, like, I swear, you guys remember a couple years ago they were using CB radios to send Bitcoin? That's a thing. Mesh network. Look it up. I'm not making that up. And that's what you know, Michael Saylor goes into today, explaining that it's much larger global phenomenon than just, like, for example, an appreciating stock.
Bitcoin's a superior investment to gold, equity, bonds, and real estate because it's digital. You can trade it 1 million times faster than conventional assets using a computer. It's available. Most other assets only trade less than 20% of the time. Bitcoin's trading 168 hours a week. We bought $800 million of Bitcoin, and a lot of it we bought over the weekend when all the conventional markets are closed. It's global. It's the most widely recognized and trusted investment asset in the world right now. It's ethical because it's the king of all commodities. There's no issuer. There's no company. There's no country controlling it. And fundamentally, it's useful. Thousands of market makers can trade it all the time. Millions of companies can trade it. Billions of people. If you want to buy a house on Saturday in Africa, this is the way to do it. If you want to buy a car on Sunday morning, this is the way to do it. So it's a pretty great asset. It's the greatest of the assets, in my opinion. There's no second best asset. So I didn't have any question about it. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to realize how good it is.
So it wouldn't be a crypto zombie video without a little bit of conspiracy, and I wanted to turn it over to British.
All right, this is a good conspiracy thing though, because I want to see what he has to say. I didn't read this actually, but we did talk about this on Saturday night, and I think
now
it's
this
legit.
is actually a couple days old, but you know how Coinbase keeps crashing? He said this is speculation here, but there may be some Bitcoin manipulation. How can you have 4 years to prepare your systems, have the majority of demand coming from institutions, and still the server crashes every time we reach all-time high?
It's literally what I was saying on Saturday night. I was like, how do you do it? It happens more than once too. It happened like 3 times.
Here's what I think. Bitcoin breaks all-time high. Markets start running out of OTC. The OTC desks start running out of Bitcoin. Bull market prevention team at Coinbase steps in and shuts down the engine. You know, obviously saying that, oh, we can't handle it. Retail panics. The trading algos start dumping, and the OTC desks get all their Bitcoin back after the flush. Coinbase turns back on the engine and allows BlackRock, Fidelity, and the big boys to buy up all that Bitcoin.
That's exactly what I said on Saturday. Are they manipulating the market for the ETF owners to be able to purchase more because they can't purchase enough? That's exactly what I said on Saturday night.
Then he goes on to say,
so
if this is not happening, then Coinbase is proving to be one of the most incompetent exchanges of all time.
That's hysterical.
So yeah, I mean, is this a conspiracy? I don't know, but all I can say to you guys is, if you're
there's no way that's conspiracy. It's way too coincidental that happened 3 times in a freaking row. Every time we hit an all-time high. It's way too coincidental.
Selling your
all right, shout out to Crypto Zombie. I'm gonna actually end his video there. We're gonna jump over to Crypto Bull Run, how not to F up. Let's see what Mr. Lark Davis has to say. Again, I have all of these videos down in the description below. If you guys are interested in watching them or subscribing to the channels, please feel free to do so. Let's do it.
The Crypto Bull Run is here. It's hot. Everyone's making money and getting hilariously rich, right? Perfect. But here's the truth. 90% of you are probably going to screw it up super bad. So in this video, I want to tell you how not to screw up, how not to.
And you know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong. A lot of you guys here, and myself included last time, held it way too long, and then just rode it all the way down. Because I ain't selling for a loss. Like, you sell for a loss, it's the only way you lose. And I said that during the bull run. You know, when I lost a bunch, actually, but I didn't like tell you guys how much I lost. But shout out to Mr. Rud Puts for the 99 super chat. It wasn't even a sticker. It was just, you didn't say anything. What happened? You didn't say anything. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. We just want a DJ to yell. But yeah, I don't know, man. You don't sell unless you lose. Like, time and time again, we've came back up to break all-time highs. Just don't let people scare the shit out of you. Basically, that's the moral of the story.
Throw away all your gains. How not to get chopped up between now and the eventual market peaks. This is really important advice. If you're new to the markets, or even if you've been around the markets for a while, you really need to listen to this. Remember this information. Look, guys, I've been there, okay? I've been there. I've made all these damn mistakes.
We've all been there.
Right? You don't need to make them. You can benefit from other people having gone before you and carved that path. You don't have to go carve your own path. You can learn from others' mistakes. Okay, so
that's probably the only nice thing about being a bit late to the scene, right? You know what not to do because you can actually hear the truth from people that have been through it and been, like, you know, rode the shit all the way down. Like, I'm not kidding. I rode it all the way down, all the way up, and then all the way down last run, and it was awful and sucked, and I wish I did it differently, but you know what? Can't change things, and I take it as a lesson learned, and I won't do it again. But people getting in now can at least look back on that and be like, oh shit, okay, this is the time that they were talking about. You know what I mean? So maybe that's it's good that people make videos like whatever he's gonna do here. So I might take a piece out of this and do my own little flip around it.
Let's do that. Number one, hold spot. For a lot of you, this is going to be the best thing and also the hardest thing to do. What I mean, hold spot, you buy actual coins, you hold them preferably in your hardware wallet, not keeping them on some random exchanges, okay? This is a very simple, but also for a lot of people, a hard thing to do because you want to be in and out of stuff, really trading futures, all this. You can just hold spot and chill. You can just.
Oh, speaking of that, actually, so I talked about this again on Saturday night with Coinbase, like freezing the stuff, right? The reason I love Tangem so much is they have a swap feature inside Tangem, so I could literally just swap my Bitcoin, obviously for a fee, whatever the company charges, but you could swap your Bitcoin right to USDT, and then you don't have to worry about having it on an exchange. That's why I pinned Tangem at the top. I straight up use it every single day. I'm not just trying to shill it. I don't give a shit if you use my code to somebody else's. It's a good option to have in your pocket.
Hold spot and chill. You can keep this market cycle a lot simpler by just getting your coins, chilling, maybe adding some positions, whatever. You don't have to be doing everything. I know there's a temptation. You want to farm airdrops. You want to do futures trading. You want to do DeFi stuff. You can do all that if you want to, but you also don't have to. For some of you, it's going to be beyond your technical expertise, beyond your even risk factors, your own personal risk factors. So maybe you just want to hold spot and chill.
Exactly, Carl. Yeah, you don't have to worry about being down with like Coinbase. If you had your money on Coinbase and your account, like my account straight up showed zero one day. It was just zero when one of their crashes happened or whatever they said. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it, and there was a lot of panic in the space. I know my wife texted me literally at the exact moment I looked at my account, and they both said zero. I was like, okay, it's definitely a glitch. Something's wrong. So that was like a freak out moment, but at the same time, we couldn't sell. So having the option to swap inside my wallet where my crypto is and not having to deal with Coinbase, because that company, wherever they swap it, I'm sure they use different exchanges. It's just simple. I think it's Changely is the company they use inside Tangem, but it's just like, it's such an easy feature. Like I can get my Bitcoin to USDT and no, it's like done. I don't have to input any wallets. They got all my info. Like the wallets are together in the swap thing. I just choose USDT and it goes right to my wallet. It's freaking insane. I love it.
Okay, you can just do that. You're going to do just fine. Number two, PTSD. For those of you who were around in the bear market, get over it. Get over it. Slap yourselves. Come on, get over it. It's done.
Clap for Lark because, yeah, you guys do need to cut the shit. All the bears here that are like, oh, it's going back down. Like, no, stop. Cut the shit. Just fucking buy it just buy it now and stop waiting.
You have to get used to buying higher. If you're sitting here waiting for Bitcoin, it's going to go down to $12,000. Not going down to $12,000.
People.
All those hot altcoins that had major breakouts, not going back to the bear market lows.
So right.
It's over. You have to get used to the fact that you're going to be buying higher and hopefully, of course, selling higher. Now, I know the mantra, you got to buy low and sell high. The best buying prices we've passed those opportunities. There'll be big dips. There'll be 20, 30% drawdowns, all that kind of stuff. You'll still get great bargains in the market as we go forward. But the big accumulation period has ended, and you have to internalize and accept that. If you're still sitting here waiting around for bear market bottom prices to come back, you're probably going to be sidelined the entire bull market cycle and make no money.
You know what, Crypto 440, that's a good question. Why doesn't Tandem take crypto? I don't know why you can't purchase it with crypto, actually. That's a good freaking question. Probably legal reasons, if I had to guess. I don't know. That's a really good question, though. I can email the guy and ask him why they don't have options for Bitcoin or crypto payments in general. That's really neat to know, actually. I didn't even realize that.
Okay. And it's a hard thing to internalize, hard thing to accept. You didn't get it. You didn't perfectly time the bottom. You weren't paying attention to whatever it's going to be, but you have to get over that.
Oh, and also Tangem, I swapped, so you can actually get Caspa that way, right? So I actually ended up swapping Caspa or USDT for Caspa. I swapped $1,000 the other day into Caspa, and literally sent the Caspa in my wallet with under a minute, and it was like $5. It cost me $5. So it was totally worth it. And like, I didn't need any other exchanges, nothing. It was just mint. Worked awesome.
Okay. We have major breakouts going on right across the crypto market, major altcoin moves going on. You're not going to get the entries that you probably wanted to get. That being said, there's still opportunity. Okay. So don't let your ego blind you. Yeah. Okay. You could have bought a year ago at 1/10 or 1/20 the current price, but you didn't. But do you still see opportunity? Here's the thing. In every market cycle where we reach this phase where it's like, oh, it's up. It's already up 20x this cycle. That's crazy. I'm not going to buy it. And then it goes up another 20x. Choice is yours. Number 3, focus on winners. I'm reminded of a great Sean Connery quote from the movie The Rock with Nicolas Cage. Fantastic movie. Great movie, folks. If you haven't seen it. He says, losers always talk about their best. Winners go home and do the prom queen. Right? So you want to focus on winners. You want to focus on winners. Okay, we're paraphrasing that for the kids here. Okay. Anyway, you want to focus on winners, guys. Look at the coins that have been winning this market cycle. If you're in some dinosaur coins that no one's talking about, or you don't think have upcoming narrative, you just holding on to this bag forever, it might be time to say goodbye to that bag. Okay, because something else. You see where the winners are already happening in this market. Like Solana has been a major winner, for example, and that
Solana's going to do crazy, but at the same time, I still personally have reservations of buying it, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like a fight with myself. Every time I go to purchase something, I'm like, should I just get Solana? I don't know. But like, man, I feel like it's going to crush its all-time high, and I don't know why I'm so reserved about it. Do you guys feel the same way about Solana, or is it just me? I mean, obviously, some of you guys listened to me when I said like $19 was a good buy, but others that didn't listen, what? Do you guys have reservations about it now, purchasing this high?
Show of strength creates more hype and attention, and it shows more strength.
Anthony,
People want strength. People want to back winners. They don't want to back losers.
Just me. All right.
When you accept that reality of the market, don't care how good the tech is on whatever blockchain. If nobody cares about it, nobody cares about it. It's not winning. You want to back winners. Winners tend to keep winning. Number 4, stay dialed in. I know it's hard sometimes. You got everything going on. You got your wife, kids, all that stuff, right? I get it. But you got to stay dialed into the market. There's opportunities moving all the time. There's new coins coming out. There's new opportunities. I know I say just hold the spot and chill. Well, if you're beyond that, and I know a lot of you are, and a lot of you are hustling every day for the opportunities in this market, finding.
Oh man, Antonio said he bought Solana at 80 and sold at 40. Man. Listen, if you guys ever have, like, besides like shitty meme coins and like just coins that are going absolutely nowhere, no utility, nothing, like most of the time, if you just hold it, you'll be okay. It'll come back. I know it's scary. I know you get nervous, but you're better off buying in on the dip instead of freaking out. And it sucks. It's sad, but like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's reverse psychology. I know it's hard to do, but you got to do it. Like, you have to. If it just drop your overall average by purchasing in low, you know what I mean? If you bought it at 40 instead of selling at 40, your average would be 60. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have that easier climb up to get back into the green. Does that make sense?
New NFT mints, all that kind of stuff. You have to stay dialed into the market. You have to see what's going on in the market. You have to be paying attention to the technicals and all this kind of stuff. When's the market going to turn over? If you're just buying and holding spot Bitcoin and chilling for 10 or 20 year time frame, none of this matters to you. But if you're trying to make as much money as you can in this cycle, then you need to stay dialed in during this cycle.
But see, that's one of those things, Antonio. It's not even like, dude, everybody's been there, right? Everybody. It's not just you. So like, those are the learning lessons that like people need to take from this market and apply them to your next, like this bull run, right? Coming up. Just make sure you guys change the ways you do things if it didn't work out last time. Like, don't like learn from your mistakes, basically, right?
Stop drinking, stop partying at the weekend. Here's your 18-month opportunity to make life-changing intergenerational wealth for your frickin' family, man. And if you don't stay dialed in, if you don't hustle during this period, you're going to miss it. Of course, you want to stay up to date with new opportunities as well. There's all kinds of things happening. Airdrops all the time. Huge wealth from airdrops already been created this year. It's been insane seeing some of the airdrops for regular people too, not just about influencers and whales. Okay, yeah, influencers and whales, guys, accepted. Influencers and whales are going to make the bigger gains often, but as a regular dude with your small portfolio, you can still make big money on airdrops, and a lot of people fade them to their own peril. And some of the money has been made by just regular people, tens of thousands of dollars in some cases.
You can make a lot from airdrops, but they're risky. That's the problem. It's most of the time it's people that click on things, linking things that they're not sure of, and your wallet gets hacked. So if I can advise anybody on anything, when you're going to apply for any type of airdrop or do anything you need to do for an airdrop, make sure you only have the funds in there that you're going to be swapping with or whatever. Don't keep your holdings on that same wallet you're linking to anything else, please. Please, for the love of God, put it on a different wallet, okay? Just so you guys don't get rugged. I've had so many people get their ETH stolen from like MetaMask or the Phantom wallet. Things have happened. Actually, that guy, Chris Bagnell, got hacked probably, what was it? I think it was a week ago. Not hacked, but he linked something to his account and his account got drained. Like they took all his funds. So there's things like you guys got to pay attention. Airdrops can be super risky, especially if you're clicking on sites you don't know what the hell they do.
This is more. Don't fade it. Pay attention. What are the big metas right now? Gaming, AI, airdrops. This is where the money is being made big time in the market right now. Okay?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Hey, look, by the way, if you want to stay up to date with all this stuff, you want
to skip forward.
Description. Now let's talk about risk. This is something that I feel like the vast majority of new investors completely ignore. They're basically coming in, gambling, chasing every green candle, throwing money into every new scammy rug pull meme coin that they can find.
Yep.
Look, in this market, if we go from our current $2.5 trillion market cap up to potentially a $6 to $10 trillion market cap by the end of the cycle, that means everything's going to gigapump. Basically, whatever you're in is going to do well. Some will do dramatically better than others, but everything's going to do well. Everyone's going to eat.
But Timmy will sell on the pullbacks, and that's where you guys reap the rewards, right? Just keep holding.
Okay. You don't need to be all in on super risky shit all the time that can go to zero tomorrow. This obsession with needing to get rich tomorrow, not being able to wait 12 to 18 to 24 months. I mean, come on. Right. What's our time frames here? This is insane. This is a wild wealth opportunity in crypto right now. These market cycles are so volatile, so crazy, so nuts, and create so much wealth in such a short period of time. You don't need to try to do it tomorrow if you can zoom out and say, well, I can wait 18 months or 12 months or 24 months to achieve these massive goals of wealth. Try doing that in the stock market, man. It's not going to happen. You don't need to be getting in on every super risky dog coin that comes out and stuff like this. I get it. Meme coins, it's their own game. You can play that game, but just do it with a small percentage of your portfolio. Okay. Manage your risk. One of the easiest ways to manage your risk is to position size according to risk. So those super risky meme coins that you're throwing money into, don't put 100%, don't put 50%, don't put 20%, don't put 10% or even 5%. 0.1% of your portfolio, 1% maybe at a max of some risky meme coin, because then if that goes to zero, you've only lost 1% of your portfolio. If it goes
not wrong.
a bajillion X, well, then you've made a bunch of money. Okay.
He's not wrong.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, if it's going to go bajillion X, shouldn't I put all my money in? No, because chances of it going bajillion X are very, very small compared to the chances of it going to zero, which are quite high for the majority of meme coins. Okay. Keep that in mind. The next thing I want to talk about is mid-curving. I understand. Okay. It's so easy to want mid-curve a lot of stuff like meme coins, for example. The mid-curve meme, by the way, you got the ape on the left and the wizard on the right and the guy with the glasses in the middle going, oh, that can't be possible. It doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. you're going to mid-curve a lot of stuff. Try to mid-curve as little as possible. If you can't be a wizard about it, just be an ape about it. Just understand that number is going to go up. Meme coins. Okay. It took me a long time to finally have my wizard moment with it. I think anyway, maybe I'm still just in the ape. I don't know. But I look at meme coins.
There's too many meme coins,
They're
man.
a financial representation of internet culture.
And stupidity. Mostly stupidity. Like 1,000% stupidity. But hey, listen, you can make a lot of money. It just means someone else is losing. That's all it means.
You can actually now buy internet culture. It's tokenized. If you want to look at the left-hand side, people like dogs, people like cats, people like frogs, people like memes, number will go up. You can be the guy in the middle going, oh, but it has no utility and it's dumb and blah, 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 blah. Well, everyone else is making money.
Right.
Do you want to be?
See, like I'll shit on them, but I still have some. Like I still own them. you gotta still get into, like, you don't want to allocate everything to them, but you want to put a little bit in these coins that could moonshot for no reason. Because if you put, say $100 into 10 different coins that are all just, shit coins, and you get close to the same amount, whatever, one of them's bound to pop off, and then guess what? You're paid back for all 10 that you put in. It's just whatever.
Right? Or do you want to make money? Can't always be both. Similarly, you can look
Talk
at
shit or make money. Exactly.
At AI and say, well, none of these companies are super serious. Do decentralized models really matter? Blah, 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 blah. Wizard moment. Crypto and AI are a great combination. Future of AI is going to be decentralized, and crypto networks are a very, very important part of that. And the left, the ape, the left curve on the mid curve here, the ape is going to look at it and go, AI is hot. AI is going to the moon. AI is going to be number go up basically big time by AI. Okay, so don't find yourself in the mid curve on the hottest trends in the market right now. Next, it's about leverage. Let's talk about leverage. Leverage can be a very useful tool if you have some experience in the market. If you're a newbie, you don't need leverage. Okay, just come on.
Yeah, guys, please. Like, seriously, leverage is terrible. I guess he goes on to say FOMO, stuff about FOMO. Yeah, please don't have fear of messing out. And then selling, I assume, for a loss. Like, if you're losing, just wait, and 90% of the time it's going to come back. But unfortunately, I got to get back to daddy duty, so I have to get into the recap segment of things. I can't finish this video with you guys. Wife's got to get to work, and dad has to go take care of the kids. So let's see real quick. Still over $72,000. The market just opened. Hell yeah. Shout out to Bitcoin for being amazing. Ethereum, $4,042. Again, Denkun upgrade is tomorrow for anybody that might just be joining. And yeah, Solana's doing great. Our little buddy XRP finally came and showed up to the party. We're 12% up today, 70 cents. Look at that. I don't know if anybody holds it. I have a little bit of it, not much, but AVAX is up 6.4% at $50, and everything else is looking fantastic. All right, what we're going to do is raid Miss Randy Hipper in the chat. She's going live in about 10 minutes. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me on the daily grind. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Have a good day. Enjoy your Tuesday, and peace out.
Eat shit, Gary.